All right, so let's go over the answers for today's math problems. So number 1 says 72 fluid ounces equals how many cups? Remember, we start off with what do we know, and I'm going to do those in a different color. So what do I know? Well, I know there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. So then when I look, I think, well, how many times would I need to have 8 to get 72? And so that would be 9 times. So then I'm going to times this side by 9. So the answer would be 9 cups. Number 2. Blank pints equals 12 cups. So if I have my big G, I can see that in 1 pint, okay, so in one of these P's there, I have 2 cups. So then on this side, I go, well, how many times would I have to have 2 to get 12? I'd have to have that 6 times. So then over here, so there'd be 6 pints and 12 cups. Then number 3, it says blank gallons in 84 quarts. So again, if I look at big G, how many queens live in Gallentown? Well, there's 4 queens. So 1 gallon would equal 4 quarts. Now, off the top of my head, these numbers are a little bit bigger. It's not like a basic fact. So I do know that 4 times 20 equals 80. And then 4 times 1 equals 4. So then 4 times 21 would equal 84. So I know I'm going to take that 4, need it 21 times to get 84. So then I would need to times this side by 21. And so I would have 21 gallons. And then the last problem, number 4, 22 pints equals how many quarts? Okay, so I'm thinking, well, what conversion do I know about pints and quarts? So looking at land a gallon here, I can see that in 1 quart, there are 2 pints. So I need to times this by 11. 2 times 11 is 22. So then I times that side by 11. So for the second page on your seesaw for today, number 1 is 9 cups. Number 2 is 6 pints. Number 3 is 21 gallons. And number 4 is 11 quarts. Now let's solve numbers 5 through 8. So number 5 says 9.5 gallons equals how many quarts? So we're going to use the idea of the gallons and quarts again. Remember looking at Gallentown, saying, well, in 1 gallon, there are 4 quarts. So how many times would I have to have 1 to get 9.5? Be 9.5. So then I need to times this side by 9.5. Remember, this was one of our launching our learning problems. So the actual equation we're solving is 4 times 9.5. We know 4 times 9 equals 36, and 4 groups of a half would equal 2. So then together, that would be 38 quarts. And those are a little more tricky. Number 6, this was number 5. Number 6, it says blank fluid ounces equals 8.5 cups. So what do I know about ounces and cups? Well, I know, this other pen, there are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So I had to have 1 how many times to get 8.5? I had to times that by 8.5. So then on this side, I got to times that by 8.5. I'm going to go over here and kind of do the same idea that we just did up here. My equation is 8 times 8.5. So I know 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1/2 equals 4. And so add those together and I would get 68. So there would be 68 fluid ounces in 8.5 cups. Number 7, 144 fluid ounces equals how many cups? So for this one, we know that 8 fluid ounces equals 1 cup. And then this is where we're going to have to do a little bit of thinking here to figure out, well, how many times would I have to have 8 to get 144? So I'm going to do 8 divided into 144. Can I find it 8 in 1? No, but can I find it in 14? Yep, I can find 1. So that would be 8, but 10 eighths would be 80. So that would be 4. We'll bar here 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That would be 64. And 8 times 8 is 64. So then 18. So I would need to times 8 by 18 to get 144. So then I would times 1 by 18. And so it would be 18 cups. I think that one's probably the trickiest one we've done so far. And let's look at the last one, number 8. 14.5 quarts equals how many pints? So what do we know about quarts and pints? Well, I know that 1 quart equals 2 pints. So what would I times 1 by to get 14.5? Well, I'd times it by 14.5. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. 2 times 14.5. And I always like to write that equation to make sure I don't lose any of my pieces. So 2 times 14 equals 28. And then 2 groups of a half equals 1. So then together, that would equal 29. So 14.5 quarts would equal 29 pints. So to review, number 5 is 38 quarts. Number 6 is 68 fluid ounces. Number 7 is 18 cups. And number 8 is 29 pints.